All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this session. My name is Kelly Steelman.
And I'm Cassandra Reed Van Dam.
And today we are very happy that you are joining us to talk about building a UP-related essential ed minor. So today I don't expect that we are going to design a minor beginning to end. But I do hope that we will come up with a whole bunch of ideas that we can then use to equip a task force to design that minor so that they can go into it with ideas from our faculty, staff, and community members and lots of different perspectives so we can build something hopefully really exciting. So at this point, I'm sure a lot of you know about minors, but just in case, the essential education minors are one way that students can complete the essential ed program. So they have the first year experience, they can do the distribution pathway, or they can complete these essential ed minors, which are all around interdisciplinary themes. They all include 6 courses. They have communication intensive courses, intercultural competency courses, and then a variety of what we call SHAPE courses, which are social sciences, humanities, arts for the people, environment, and economy. There's one course that actually can fall from any unit. So we could get courses that are not traditionally part of essential education, say from engineering, computing, forestry, or even courses from social sciences, humanities, and the arts that are not typically included on the gen ed lists. And they can include an essential ed experience, which I'm sure many of you have talked about today, or another upper division SHAPE course. So already, we've designed a variety of minors. All of these were developed by interdisciplinary teams. There are more coming. All of these themes were developed in collaboration by a minors task force that kind of looked across campus, talked to students, faculty, and tried to come up with a variety of themes that would bring together folks from a bunch of units. But at the end of that process, we brought all of these to the department chairs and to say who wanted to develop what and to get input. And the big question that came out of that is, where's the UP, right? Like, this is such a big part of our campus identity and the identity of our students. How can we possibly have interdisciplinary minors that don't in some way engage with the place where we all call home? So that's how we added this to the list. Our goal is to launch a task force to work on building this out during the next academic year. And our hope today was to really elicit a lot of ideas about what we might include in a minor like this. So to kick us off, we have to start with a stoke of some kind. And today, we're going to do something a little different. I would like you as a table to create a UP road trip for a Michigan Tech student. So you all have a UP map in front of you. And what I'd like, go around, briefly introduce yourself, and take one of those Sharpies and draw a star on the place you want to add and label it. And pass it around, and then you'll connect all the lines to hopefully make some really interesting road trips for prospective students.
And it doesn't have to be across the entire UP too. If you want to just keep it local, that's fine as well. Yeah.
This is why we probably need a UP. Yeah, she's mentioned it to me. Yeah.
Right?
Let's see.
It's
Will you label the name of the
I don't
place
remember
too,
if it's
so
this island or this peninsula or this
we can
one. Where's
capture all
Fiji?
these places,
Down
right?
That's the other
We
one.
share the stuff back out.
Oh, we were right. We were right.
Nice.
Yeah.
You make sure you label them so that we can
guess.
take the roadmap.
Yeah.
Or use them.
You're gonna take them?
Well, yeah. Share them out.
Can I add one? One of these? Can you do Point Abbey?
Hi, you all might have a very short road
I
trip,
didn't go
so
there
you
until
can
like
each
after
pick
I
two
when I was in
places.
after I graduated college.
We stayed at a
Yeah.
Well, feel free to write on the map and label the
I
places.
heard those are
So
amazing. I really want to do that.
Tara. I'm in
Porkies. All right.
also really like the Porkies.
Go for it. Yeah. Hi. Good, good. I think I'm gonna just steal these for my summer plans. Where's that? Is that the really clear water? I have not been. Yes.
Were you able to find Steve?
Yeah, no, I got everything.
All right, folks. I see some really great plans that I will likely steal for summer road trips. Hopefully, though, this activity got you thinking about the UP. I know living in the Keweenaw, sometimes we might zoom in to our local area, but hopefully some people learned about some new spots that they might go. So we are going to spend the next portion brainstorming some UP-related themes. What I'm going to ask is that you all follow these brainstorming best practices. So you all have Post-it notes at your table. If you need more pens, let us know, but there's a couple Sharpies. You can use regular pens as well. Pull off some of the sticky notes. And each person should put one idea per sticky note. And when you have your idea, just put it down on the table and say it, okay? Everyone should jump in. You can yes and build off of other people's ideas. Don't pause to discuss or over-explain things. Let's not debate other people's ideas, right? The goal is for us to generate as many ideas as possible. So the first question that I have for you, and you're going to get 3 minutes here, is what is unique about life, industry, culture, geography in the UP that Michigan Tech students should understand?
Does anyone need?
So go ahead, start working on those Post-it notes.
Does anyone else need?
Like, why they're so.
Wow, did you guys generate all of those ideas already?
So we heard themes and we started going.
Of course you did.
I guess this could be our.
There'll be more
Those
things
are
coming
our
too.
people.
Yeah,
They are.
you'll be sorting them later. So.
All right, we're going to move on to our next prompt. You can just add these themes right in with the other ones. But the question is, what does it mean to live, learn, and lead in a rural or remote region? I like how that is also like a real positive, right? This having community to rely on.
I wouldn't trade it for anything. I lived downstate for years and I just felt sick the whole time. I was like, I feel sick.
All right, it is time for us to transition to our final prompt. What are stories, communities, or systems in the UP that you wish more people knew about?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so we are at the end of our initial ideation time. What you have a lot of Post-it notes, and rest assured, we will collect every single one and transcribe them and make sure that the future committee gets all of these themes in their hands. But in the short term, if you can take a look at the things that you wrote and think about the conversations you just had at your table, and try to consolidate many of your ideas down to some key themes. Label them if you can, and select 2 or 3 that you'd like to share out to the larger group. What is it that students All right, folks, we're going to go around to the different tables and give everybody a chance to report out. It looks like our batteries may be worn out. So I'm going to ask you to choose someone at your table who has the loudest voice, perhaps, to share out those themes. Can I pick on you all to go first?
All right, apparently I have the loudest voice.
Thank you, Laura.
So we had a theme about all the ethnic communities that settled here, including the KBIC, and sort of the idea that this is a place.
No, we need more
Yeah.
batteries.
So that was an idea, and then we also had an idea of sense of time, and sort of helping students sort of navigate between thinking in different historical frameworks.
Thank you. About this table.
We talked a lot about culture, economics, community, environment. A lot about, like what you guys are saying, diversity at UP. How that is really respected and honored in a lot of ways. We talked about the environment and how the students need to be more aware of like the safety issues with the lake and things like that. We talked about the economics of boom to bust, low-income families, and how that relates to like subsistence living and living off land, and then obviously all the other stuff.
Wonderful, thank you. Thanks, Austin. All right.
So we talked about 3 main things, one being nature, resource, and outdoors. So like the draw to why people come to Michigan Tech and the Upper Peninsula. We talked about Weber community, history, and tourism, specifically talking about like different marginalized or impacted communities like the disabled community, the Anishinaabes peoples, and also like the Finnish history that's really driven a lot of the like slogans and terms that people use to differentiate themselves from the trolls. I mean, people who live that. And last but not least, we talked about logistics. You need to be more proactive than reactive in this area, like adding an extra day to all of your travel plans, assuming flights won't take off between May and October, and Amazon taking at least 1 week, so you really need to plan ahead for a lot of months. But all of this builds into one main thing that I think we agreed on was it's quiet and sometimes slow, but that's on purpose. There's a different walk of life, you're a different way of life, but people are really drawn to that, and that's what gets people to stay.
Well, thank you so much. I believe the microphone is working now? Barely. All right. You can try to give it a whirl.
Okay. So our group, we had picked out 3 themes in the first. A lot of you guys already touched on. It was outdoor recreation and the expansiveness of the UP, how individuals connect with nature. We talked about aspects of our community, both positive and negative, some challenges that we face, such as the extra travel days, but also the benefits of having a small community. And then the ecological landscape, so the actual natural beauty that exists around us.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if that was
You're your best.
All right, we came out with one that's the most important one we can think of. There's 19 people per square mile.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'll just say many of these hit. We had culture, isolation, nature, and community, and sort of how you function.
Wonderful. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, repeat, but natural wonders of the UP. Community where neighbors are important, and there's like this sense that we need to rely on one another in ways that other communities might not have that as important. Which ties into also the idea of self-sufficiency, resilience, and kind of this idea of entrepreneurship, right? Where think of all of the ways that people creatively find ways to stay here, and which I think is kind of interesting. And also, of course, we cannot talk about the UP without talking about the Finnish heritage.
All right, thank you very much. So, lots of repeating themes, but lots of novel ones as well. Your next task, this is going to be a speed design process. You're going to very rapidly pair up and make a course proposal. All right? We're not going to spend a semester working on this. We're going to do it in just a few minutes. So at your table, you have a handout that looks just like this. What I would like you to do is design your dream UP course to take or to teach. Use one of the themes. It might be a theme from your table or something that piqued your interest at another one. Come up with a name for the course. If you want to pick a course type, you can. You don't have to. And think about, just jot down a couple notes of like, what kind of things would you expect to be included in this class? And finally, if you'd incorporate a UP field trip, road trip, or guest speaker, what would that look like? When you are finished with that, we're going to ask that you hang it up on one of these posts. So there's tape all around the posts and on some of the walls over there. And we're going to do a little bit of a gallery walk to look at each other's classes. You can take your Post-it notes with you. And if you have a really cool idea of something that should be added to the class or a question about something in it, you can leave that comment up. So we'll give you a few minutes to work out this proposal. But especially given the time, you're going to have to do this in like 5 minutes.
Do you want to put these out on the table so people can grab some extra food? It's like a pen instead of a big Sharpie.
Cultural and environmental.
Just to see all this available. And then
I do have some pens too. If you guys want pens instead of Sharpies.
The theme is just a statement of what we're just trying to get.
I see that most of you have filled out most of the boxes on your page. If you need to finalize your field trip or guest speaker or the name for your class, go ahead and do that. But then please take your sheet over to one of the tape spots and affix it to the wall. I would encourage you to bring a stack of Post-it notes and a pen with you as you get up so you can go around and take a look at some of these classes. And indicate if there's something you like that you're like, I definitely want to take this class. Go ahead and put a sticky note with a star on it. If there's a particular topic that you think is really interesting that students would enjoy, comment on that. I wish, right? Oh, maybe you should combine this with that other class. That would make it, or I wonder, if you have a question about the minor, or if you think that maybe there's a field trip that would make a lot of sense in this class, you might put that on. So bring your Post-it notes, add them. All right, so we've got about 3 minutes until the end of the session. You can continue reading about all these classes if you'd like. I wanted to call your attention on this first pillar here. There is a UP sign that says, I want to design the minor. If you're a person that would love to be part of this task force, if you're a faculty or staff member or would love to consult with the task force, if you're a community member, please add your name to that and we will share that as that committee is put together. What's next? Like I said, we are going to keep all of these Post-it notes, so don't throw them away. If you wouldn't mind helping us out by sticking the Post-it notes on your UP map for us for easy collection, that would be swell. If you incorporated your UP map into your course proposal and you need another one to stick it on, we've got some extra pieces of paper. But we will take all of these ideas and combine them together and share them. So that we can hopefully see a lot of these excellent themes reflected in this future minor. So thank you for coming and for attending this inaugural Essential Ed Symposium and for contributing all of your ideas. If you have any questions or want to follow up on this session, you can email us at essentialed.l@mtu.edu. Thank you for your time and all your great ideas today.
Anyone else need